Peace everyone, Unmask here and welcome back for day 18 of Inktober. We're really winding down the rest of this month, aren't we? I didn't get quite as many participants as far as sending me your pictures, but for those of you that did send me pictures, let's go ahead and have a look at them. So this first one here is from Wendy. This is actually for tomorrow's prompt. She's just working ahead a little bit. Here's one from Don. I've been really enjoying his pieces, so please, Don, keep sending them. This is kind of a fashion geisha looking thing. Here's one from Abigail that I really liked, and I like it even more looking at it again. And here is one from Brenda. She kind of seemed to be inspired from my piece from yesterday, her ballerina ribbon dancer, just like mine. Here's one from Stephanie. Picture wasn't the best, but it's actually two horses kind of playing with each other. It's kind of hard to see, but they're there. Here is one from Steven, and he said he was just goofing around here, but I really like the light in this piece. I hope you further develop that idea. Here's one from Scott. He did a logo kind of graffiti, and you got Nugget over there crawling up the K. Very cool, Scott. Here's one from Diane. Really fierce eagle. This is what she did for fierce, and it came out really nice. Here's another one from Wendy. She drew Pigpen from Charlie Brown. I almost forgot where it was from, but yeah. And then that's it. So I didn't get very many today, unfortunately, but those of you that did send them, I have really enjoyed seeing them, and thank you. So make sure that you try to keep up with Inktober. I know, trust me, it's hard. I'm really feeling the strain at this point. Although I've gotten into the habit of streaming every day for you lovely people, it's really like grinding me out right now. We're at day 18. I have 18s planned out here, as you can kind of see a little bit zoomed in. I'm going to be doing another mini manga comic story involving Nugget. And this one actually came surprisingly easy to me, and I was able to plan it out. It took me 20 minutes, so no lie, it took me 20 minutes to plan this page out. And the idea just kind of popped into my head, I don't know if it was when I woke up or before I went to sleep. I don't know, it just kind of popped into my head. But that's what I'm going to be working on today. And let me get involved here in the chat. Let me see who's here already. Hello, Hildy, Elise, Wendy again, and Fine Art Anna, Jennifer, Christy, Brenda, Nyawich. Thank you all so much for coming to the live stream. Let's see, yes, another manga piece. Yes, the cloud storage is what Wendy was illustrating there. Glad you were able to make it, Jennifer. Glad you're here. Good morning, Brenda. Oh, you can't stay? Okay, well, hopefully, you can hang out for a little bit. At least you're able to say hello. Hello, Renate. Yes, I already feel like I deserve plenty of rest right now from Inktober. It has been quite the journey, and it's been fun for sure. Absolutely been fun. A very good learning experience, to be honest with you. And it's been really good with the schedule. Like, it's kind of helped me establish a habit. Now, technically, I need to do this for 3 more days to really develop a very strong habit. They always say that it takes 21 days to establish a positive habit and only 3 days to establish a bad one. But yeah, so a couple more days, and I think that this will be a full-fledged positive habit of drawing every single day. And it has been a journey for sure, as many of you that have been following me through this month have seen. It has been somewhat stressful at times, but overall it's been very, very enjoyable. And today's story is obviously revolving around the prompt, which is filthy. And I had a few different thoughts for today's prompt. I wasn't originally going to do this manga page, as those of you that were here yesterday for the live stream or possibly just watched it. I was considering just doing kind of like a picture of Nugget, maybe digging through trash, or I don't know, dirty in some way. I was thinking about just him playing in mud. You know how slugs love coming out when it rains. So playing in mud seems like a natural thing that Nugget would be inclined to do. But I just, I didn't like, I kind of felt like I was taking the lazy way out. So I really wanted to do something a bit more complex, a little bit more fun. And I came up with a really quite simple story, but a fun one nonetheless. And I'll try to hide the reveal the best that I can, at least for a small portion of the stream. That way you get to experience the story as it develops. But I imagine that by the time I start working on the second scene, you'll have a pretty good idea as to what the story is about. Oh goodness, quite a few more of you seem to have come in. Theresa, hopefully I pronounced that right. Good morning to you. And Bridget, just stopping to have a morning meeting for about 10 minutes. Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad you thought of us and came to say hello to the family. And speaking of family, I just want to give you a small update on the Facebook group. So I don't quite have the Facebook group set up yet, but it's coming along nicely. I'm organizing some things just so that when you guys join the group, you have something to immediately participate in. And I've been getting a lot of help from Anna, Fine Art Anna, in the chats there that many of you know. And she's been throwing all kinds of really fun ideas at me for collaborations in the group, and just really making the group a little bit more interactive, as opposed to just a bunch of people trying to bombard everyone else with their artwork and things like that. I did set up a dedicated folder specifically for sharing kind of your final picture, and I decided to call it the Unmask Family Gallery. And it will just be a dedicated folder for everything you complete in the year in 2017. So once I have the group open and you join, you can upload a few of your pictures there with relevant information, and and maybe a video or something attached in the description of your picture, the supplies you used, all that fun stuff that people always like to know about the artwork, kind of your inspiration maybe. But I would like it to be a description worthy of if you were to send the piece to a gallery and they wanted to do a write-up to hang next to it. People want to know a little bit about the artist, maybe a little bit about the inspiration or whatnot. So that's kind of what I've got set up so far, and I'm meaning to invite a few of you exclusively right now. So I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a couple moderators that I can obviously trust, and there's quite a few of you in the chats that I've certainly known for a long enough time to trust you to moderate the group, just so you have the ability to remove things that people post that don't follow the family values of the group, and just kind of help facilitate any new people that come in as far as moderating the things they tend to post. Yes, so is my colored pencil course downloadable online? Yes, it is downloadable. You can, if you purchase it from my website, you will get an email that includes a download link that will let you download it immediately after you purchase it. I do sometimes run into people with issues as far as not being able to download it, or sometimes, things mess up. And in which case, simply just send me an email. I will immediately respond with a new link for you to download it. So I do my best to make sure that if there's any trouble with the course when it comes to downloading it, I try to fix that as quickly as possible. Sorry, let me see what's going on in the chat really quick. Yes, you're flooding me with a lot of ideas. I wish that I could. I wish that I could get to building those ideas as quickly as you come up with them. It's been a little slow with the Facebook group, so I apologize if anybody is really anticipating that group to open up. I can assure you it will be this week. It could be as early as tomorrow. But before I open it up, I would like to have a couple of you kind of come into the group privately while it's still a secret group, and just be prepared to do a bit of moderation in the beginning. I currently don't have anyone other than myself as an admin, so if you have that level of dedication and you would like to maybe be an admin, then I will consider that. But I don't really know how quickly the group will grow. I really don't have any expectations for it. I'm just trying to be the best prepared as I can be. So hopefully you guys don't mind being just a bit patient for that sake. But if you are interested in being a moderator for me, and you have me on your friends list on Facebook, please just send me a quick message saying, I'll be a moderator. You can just send me, I'll be a moderator. It doesn't require it's not going to require any like excess time from you or anything. You're not responsible for anything. It's just, it gives you the power to remove people and remove people's posts if they happen to be, breaking the rules. And I would obviously hold my moderators to a standard in which they would both understand and follow the rules themselves, obviously. Hello, Kalya and Petra and Thosigmar. I hope that I pronounced that correctly. Oh, and Christine, welcome in, Yas. Sorry, I try to keep up with everybody as they join the live stream, so if I missed you, I apologize. So I'm just doing the initial inking here for this old man that I'm drawing. I'm gonna try to get this to look quite nice before moving on to the next scene. I'm not gonna do any shading or anything like that. I'm gonna keep this pretty straightforward. As a few of you may know, I do have Polish class later tonight, and I still have some homework I need to get to because, you know, just like when I was in college and university, I was prioritizing myself a little bit more towards my artwork than my schoolwork. But I don't have too much to do. It's just going to take like 5 minutes or something. So I thought that it would be best to actually procrastinate on it and then do it a little bit before class. That way it's fresh in my mind for class. So I hope everybody is having a good week so far. We're on Wednesday, so halfway through the weekday. Of course, I don't even know what a weekday or a weekend feels like anymore, since even on the weekends I do these live streams. But I kind of am looking forward to the end of this month so that I can finally just rest my brain from coming up with all these ideas to draw. Some of them are kind of hit and miss, as a few of you may have recognized thus far. Yesterday's, I think, was a pretty good hit. A lot of people really liked yesterday's drawing, and it went so much better since I avoided the colored inks. I guess if you may have missed yesterday, here is a quick look at yesterday's drawing. Let me zoom out really quick. So yes, here's yesterday's, and I still like it just as much as I did yesterday. Of course, you can see a better picture over on Instagram and Facebook. I have the links in the description if you want to check that out, if you haven't already. Zoom in a little bit here. Don't worry about the Facebook group. Take your time. Yes, I'm going to take my time, but I do want to have it open by the end of the week. So, hello, Linda. Are you learning anything new in my, I assume you're referring to my Polish course. So far I haven't learned anything new, which is kind of nice because it allows me to refresh kind of the things that I'm already aware of. It helps build confidence, in my opinion. And it's always nice to be ahead of the class. Although it does kind of make me feel bad because I feel like the teacher is well aware of the extent of time I've lived in Poland, and so and my pronunciation, my Polish pronunciation is quite good, extremely good in comparison to the other students that are significantly struggling with their pronunciation. So I feel like she tends to go a little bit quicker than I think she should. I think she should slow down a little bit and not go so fast for the sake of the other students. And I don't mind her taking her time. So, but yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna work out well, and hopefully by this time next year. If I don't decide to take Polish 2, I might take Polish 2 next year, depending on how much more I feel like I need to learn in a classroom setting, because I feel like if I can get to a kind of a reasonable understanding slash conversational Polish by spring of next year, then I can simply use my knowledge of the words, my vocabulary, and my grammar to just continue to learn Polish on my own by talking to people and being able to communicate in Polish a bit better. Because if I could go, if I could hold down conversations and ask questions to just my wife, then I could simply build my vocabulary by asking her what words mean and things like that, and just slowly build up my vocabulary from there. But that might be a little bit too ambitious to do it so quickly, but hopefully I will progress quickly, since I already have a pretty good listening comprehension for Polish. Hello, Riz. Sorry if I missed anything. Make sure if you're asking me a question or anything that you tag me with the @ Unmask Art. When you're typing it, it should pop up and you can click on it, so you make sure that it lights up. Hello, Briss Metal Chick and Shiny. That's okay. You're here for this stream, so I hope that you enjoy participating and chatting with the family. So I'm just going to add a little bit of weight to these lines here to kind of add some depth. Just a little bit though. Not going to overdo it. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep it simple, clean like that, and move on to the next scene. Actually, I'm going to outline the word bubble here first, the speech bubble. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me anything. I'm happy to field any of your questions because, yeah, I do this every day. I barely get to leave the house because of it, because I'm constantly, I pretty much work all day, every day this month, not just because I'm streaming, but because, I'm trying to think up things to draw for the sake of your guys' amusement, and yeah, it's I feel like I'm kind of sort of running out of ideas, so today though I feel like I came up with a good one, came up with a pretty good idea. Would anybody mind letting me know what tomorrow's prompt is? I'm trying to think. I looked at it this morning. I know today is filthy. Tomorrow is something, but I just can't remember. I know as soon as one of you type it in the chats, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's it. What was I thinking? Of course. But for the life of me, I just can't recall it. So I think during the live stream, it's a good idea for me to kind of throw out a few ideas, so that I can start thinking about what I'm going to have to draw tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be a busy day, and Friday is going to be a busy day. Tomorrow's live stream will be in the evening, my time, so a few of you in America, in Canada, South America, whatever, will get a little bit better chance of coming to the live stream, as it will be a little bit later than these early morning ones that I know are kind of hard to get to for a few of you. But let's see. Tomorrow's prompt is cloud. Gosh darn it. I knew that. I knew it. I knew as soon as somebody wrote it, I was going to be like, duh. Duh. Cloud. Cloud. I immediately thought of Final Fantasy VII. That was my first initial thought. Big fan of the Final Fantasy series. They were like my life as a child, playing Final Fantasy. I'm trying to think of anything else. Obviously, the actual Cloud. That's something that I'm thinking of a bit. What else? What else? Cloud. Trying to think of anything cloud related that I find creative, I guess. It's hard to think about those things while drawing, and trying to focus on what it is I'm doing here. But if you guys have any cloud ideas, feel free to shout them out. I'm happy to take suggestions, because I'm feeling just a little burnt out creatively. I think a few of you probably can relate to that feeling a bit. But it's hard. It's hard to come up with a new idea every single day. Cloud from Final Fantasy, yeah, that's what you thought of. Oh, hello, Doodle Stuff. I missed you come in. Mushroom Cloud. That's a cool one. Mushroom Cloud. Yeah. That's something different. Cloud. I mean, you could really create a whole bunch of interesting things out of a cloud. You know. Cotton candy and a fat nugget. Another fat nugget, Elise. I think you might be a little obsessed with fat nugget. Doing, for example, a ship that would fly, a big cloud would be holding it in the air. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Someone lying on the grass watching cloud shapes that are all nugget. You guys kill me with the nugget ideas. What else? Nugget shaped cloud. Nugget shaped cloud. Now this is what a prompt like cloud kind of drives me nuts, that I don't really have, that I'm not using better paper. I wish that I would have chosen a little bit better sketchbook. I wish I had just a few more days kind of time to have prepared for Inktober, because it was kind of last minute, and I wasn't 100% certain that I was going to do Inktober, and so, yeah. I didn't have time to research good sketchbooks, but fortunately, I definitely know what sketchbook I'm going to be using next year, so we'll have plenty of color in next year's Inktober, but unfortunately not this year. Clouds would be a really good one to be prepared to do colors. You know, blue skies and all that fun stuff. You think of a scene from Up, the part when his wife saw the clouds as babies. Yeah, draw a mushroom cloud with cloud strife having caused it. Yeah, that's a good idea. thinking of cloud with files in it. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, like the cloud. Okay, I got that. Gotta go, but can't wait for tomorrow. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa, you have a lovely day. I got heaps of ideas. I got non-focus and laziness. And now I've wasted 3 days doing nothing. I'll have stress. I have an actual deadline next week. A cloud of smoke. Yeah, a cloud of smoke. A funnel cloud would be awesome with stuff flying around. Yeah, that's a tornado. Yeah. It is pronounced just as you write it. A cloud of poison. Oh, hello, Naomi. How about instead of racing horses coming from a cloud, have racing nuggets coming from a cloud? Well, the only problem there is that there's only one nugget. So who would be the other nuggets? A couple other slugs racing. A slug race. There we go. Slug racing. I'm pretty sure slug racing is a thing. If it's not, it should be. Slug racing. Alright. Let's try to get his mop handle here. If you haven't noticed, he has a mop. Get some nice straight lines. I've got lots of lines to make straight, but not as much as previous manga pages. I decided to keep this one a little bit easier on myself as far as lines go, so nothing real line heavy. Oh, gosh, I hate this ruler. When you're using ink and a ruler, never use a flat ruler. But for working on this notebook, I kind of have no choice. But flat rulers are just the devil when it comes to inking. Always used raised rulers, because otherwise you get smudges like that right there. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, the ink tends to sit kind of on the edge of the ruler, and it just always smears it and makes ugly, gross lines. Oh, hello, Scott. Go one step further on a racetrack, Nugget as fast as lightning, and left them in the dust. Yeah. Yeah. Nugget is officially the family pet. And I was thinking about, so yesterday we talked a little bit about what questions we should have for people that want to join the Unmask family on Facebook. What questions we should ask, and I was thinking, we could ask, what's the name of the family pet? And then, of course, the answer would be Nugget. I thought that was a possible question, so we could make sure we're getting authentic family members and not spammers and weird, crazy people that just join random groups on Facebook. That was just one of many random thoughts I had earlier today. sure you guys can relate to the random thoughts. I think that's kind of an ailment that plagues just about any creative person, is the constant random thought. Is anyone else waiting for Will to realize he says it wrong, or does he know? What do I say what wrong? What are you guys talking about? Am I pronouncing someone's name wrong? Hildy? So Hildy is not how you pronounce. Okay. Yeah, I probably pronounce quite a few of your guys' names wrong because I just guess. But for fine art on there, I pronounce the e, r, on, na. Is that not right? It's on. A-N and then N-E, na. Is that incorrect? My wife's name is Anna, and your name is Anna. I've been, if I'm saying it wrong, you need to say something. I can't be constantly saying it incorrectly. How could you let me go this long if I'm saying it wrong? It was almost right. Talking about how okay, that's what I gathered. How is it almost right? At what point is my mispronunciation occurring? You have to tell me. Do you it's like the L, it's like the E in element. On that. Right? I'm saying L as an E. Now, Hildy, you're up next. You gotta tell me how to pronounce your name correctly. Come on, guys, if we're gonna be a family, we gotta be able to pronounce each other's names. What kind of family doesn't know how to pronounce their own family members' names? All right, I got some perspective that I need to draw here. So, like I said, I got a few lines that I need to work on. I have my vanishing point. I'm going to do a little bit of 1-point perspective. And let's see, got another one over here. There is an accent in your pronunciation. I give you a pass here. It seems to be a bigger problem to other Oh, okay. No, you have to keep it the way you always say it. Well, I always say it with the eh. The same way as on, so it's Hilde. Ah, so it's Hilde. Is that right? Yes, I agree with Elise on that. You need to pronounce your name for everyone in your next video. Actually, you should just make a video, just upload a video today that says how to pronounce my name correctly. So Hilde and Anne, everyone with the eh last sound. Da, 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 da. I can't. I just. You let me pronounce it wrong for so long. Same thing with you, Hilda. It's okay because I'm American. Pronunciation class with me, yeah. Well, Hilda, you live in Italy, right? I'm remembering that correctly, aren't I? Try speaking Australian. Yeah, I can't do that. Cannot do that. Norway. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, you automatically call Anna just as you do your wife, believe it or not. No, I don't. I swear. I make the distinction. I make the distinction between my wife's name and Anna's name because my wife's name is Polish and my Polish pronunciation is quite good, and it's ah. It's the ah sound. So it's the difference between ah and eh. So it's Anna. Anna. That's my wife's name. Actually, it's Anana. It has the double N sounds, and you have to kind of break that up just like the subtlest bit. But for Anna, it's Anna with an eh. maybe it's just my accent where the eh just doesn't come out correctly, or or I hear it differently. Where is Chrissy from? Chrissy? I need to keep drawing lines. You guys are distracting me. I have more lines to draw. Hello, Mary. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly, because apparently I can't pronounce anybody's name. Glad you were able to make it to a live stream. Chrissy from Chris Art. Yes, Chrissy from Chris Art. She's from Australia. Yeah, I'm in a similar boat, Jennifer. The Navy did not do a very good job on my ears, so I have a hard time hearing the differences between subtle sounds and actually hearing some syllables of words. I kind of get messed up with. Where in Australia? I'm not sure exactly where in Australia. Yeah, it's all Inktober's fault. That's funny, Jennifer. That is funny. All right, now I can ink these lines. In which case, I'm going to have to switch rulers to this giant one, because this one is not good for inking. I guess I'll just start here and work my way over. Or actually, I'll start here and work my way over to the left. Less chance of smearing, I think. Yes, they're perspective lines. He's standing on a tiled floor, a tiled floor. So plenty of lines there to enforce the sense of perspective. My vanishing point is right there, which you probably can't see anymore because I kind of erased it. But yeah, it's right here. And he's standing like in a lobby, or what I imagine to be a lobby. I just made like two walls and said I was done. That was it. Two walls and he's good. And here we go. Another. This is supposed to be an elevator over here, but you know there's not a whole lot of room for detail in this small scene. But I just wanted to set him in a scene. This is part of like my strategy to kind of keep this page a little bit simple. Is that I decided to just leave it kind of bare and not have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Did I get rated for the disability? Yes, I did get rated. Wendy, yeah, I get disability. Who got good middle names? Do you guys know my middle name? Yo, you have to go do adult stuff, Christine? Well, you take care. Glad to have you in the stream. I don't know if I've ever shared my middle name on I don't even think it's on my Facebook, actually. My personal Facebook page that I know a few of you have me on as friends on Facebook. But that could be fun. See if you guys can guess my middle name. If you don't, if you know it, then that's not guessing, so don't just blurt it out. It's a typical, it's a fairly typical American name, I guess. It's a little bit older. It's a little bit older of a name. It's not so much used anymore in American names, but yes, Scott. My first name is Will. I'm gonna do this line first. Trying to use this big ruler is such a hassle, but it's better than using the convenient one and smearing all of my ink lines all over the place. So I'm gonna try my best to keep my head out of the camera so you guys can still see what I'm doing, but just know that it's not easy for me to do it. Your middle name is Elizabeth. James, what's your last name? Yes, my last name is Stoller. No, my middle name is not James, although my sister's husband's name is James. Actually, I have to add one more line right here. Andrew Smith? Nope, not Andrew. Marama. That's a cool name. Marama. Oh, hello, Chrissy. Everyone in the chat is trying to figure out where you live, so you can tell them. Yes, Linda. That is my legal first name, the full version, I guess, or whatever. So I was named after my grandfather. Alright, just a few more lines now. If I can get these to be straight. This is so awkward with this. Okay, I'm switching. I can't do it anymore. I can't get these lines. I need to use the smaller ruler. Make sure they're nice and straight. Oh, you found the video where you say your name? Okay, so message me on Facebook so I can start practicing. All right, that's perfect. All right. No, my middle name is not Robert. It's not John. I'll give you a tiny hint. My middle name ends with an L. It ends with an L. See, I'm making it harder by not giving you the first letter. So I'm giving you the last letter. Okay, that goes, all right, goes all the way over there. I couldn't figure out where this line was supposed to end. There. That is it for scene number 2. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my wider pens here and outline my guy. I'm going to erase the pencil lines first. It's not Samuel, not Gabriel, not Michael, not Muriel. Oh, somebody got it. Oh, wait. A couple of you got it. I got to go back and see, make sure. Okay. Not Joshua. So Christy got it, and then Wendy got it next. So, yep, my middle name is Daniel. Earl. That, you're going way back on that one, Scott. No, it's Daniel. You got it. You guys got it. I didn't think the L would have given it away so quickly. Well, I don't have any other names for you guys to guess. So you're gonna have to come up with something new, another game for us to play. We can always play I Spy. I don't even know what I'd spy. Oh, that's cool. Your dad and your brother both have that same middle name. Alright, let's do another quick outline of our character here. Just so he stands out a little bit better. He doesn't fall away in the sea of lines that I just created. Aside from doing the words, this piece is actually going to be done fairly soon. Like I said, I kind of went easy on myself. I didn't overcomplicate the drawing here too much, and I'm not going to do any shading or anything like that. I do need to add one tiny thing up here. he has shine in his eye. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit better. Oh, thank you, Sana. See, we can entertain ourselves and learn at the same time. Yeah, that's true. That's what I love about the chat. You guys are so good at keeping yourselves entertained. I can just sit here and drawl, and you guys keep each other busy. It's like as soon as you guys join my live stream, it's just you turn into a bunch of toddlers that just entertain each other. You entertain me too, so. All right. Next scene is even easier, I think. Even less detail going on here. Wait, what pen am I using? Yeah, this is the right one. Man, these lines are thick. These lines are just not as thin as I imagine them being with a 0.25. It's really going on there thick. Sometimes simple is better. Not to mention helps with burnout. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I wanted to keep this one, just nice and clean. Puppies? Yeah, maybe puppies. You make us young again. That's always nice. It's always nice to feel young. I feel like every day I start to feel older and older, and then I realize that if I said that I felt old, I'd probably I'd probably get a lot of angry messages on Facebook. I think my biggest problem is that I feel lazy. I always feel lazy. That's what drives me nuts. If I didn't feel so lazy all the time, I'd feel a lot better, but I feel like I do nothing. Sometimes, one tiny update is my Patreon page. My Patreon page right now is just blowing up. In the past week, I've gotten 10 new patrons or something crazy. I don't know where they're coming from, but I love it. And if you're one of those new patrons, thank you so much for supporting my work. But at the same time, this morning I saw that Colored Pencil Magazine officially launched their Patreon page, and I quickly jumped on supporting them. And it was just I sometimes I'm afraid that I don't offer, I'm not doing enough, you know what I mean? And it makes me a little anxious sometimes, because I know I have these people supporting me, and I want to give them the best that I can offer, and sometimes I'm just a little self-conscious of whether or not I'm worthy of it. And so I always stress myself out, probably more than I should, but I'm just so dedicated to making sure that I'm offering the best content that I can come up with, And sometimes I'm just kind of worried that I'm not doing enough. Because I don't want to lose patrons. I want people to be glad that they chose to support me. So, yeah, that was just a little thought that I was having earlier today, because I got a couple new patrons this morning and yesterday, and so it was just a thought that I had, and it's a thought that often comes up. What are the blocks for? These here, that's just the floor. So he's just standing on the floor, and it's a tiled floor. Alright, time to draw some more lines. Well, there's a few in here that I know I can do safely without worry of perspective. I should have done that one first, but whatever. No, I'll skip that one for now. Facebook page. If you haven't listened to the Colored Pencil podcast episodes on Facebook groups and critique versus criticism, I think they are helpful for a vibe. I listen to the Colored Pencil podcast every now and again. But I guess I don't get notified of them, so I guess I fall out of touch a little bit with the podcast. But I do enjoy them. I need to update the way that I listen to them. Usually I just go over to the website, but I'm sure there's a much more efficient way of becoming aware of the new ones. And I'm in the Facebook group, but I'm not very active in the Colored Pencil podcast group, so I could probably work on that a bit. I forgot to get water. I think you can do 2 mediums at a time, but try some of them in only 1 medium. I don't know if you were talking to me. Goodness. Did I miss a question? Do I think it's better to focus on 1 medium only and get really good at that before moving to another medium? Or is working on multiple mediums at the same time no different as far as learning? That is a good question. And of course, my answer will be my opinion and not some, undisputable fact. In my opinion, I think that what is most important is to learn techniques at a time. So whether you are learning a technique using colored pencils, or you are learning a technique using graphite, or you are learning a technique using acrylic paint, I think that you can learn multiple techniques in different mediums at the same time. So one day you might work with pastels and focus on a particular technique using pastels. The next day you can, pick up your paints, practice a new technique. But if you're going to spread yourself out thin with multiple mediums, what I would say is probably the better way of approaching learning in those different techniques, in those different mediums, you're probably going to want to know what it is you want to learn. So you're going to want to focus yourself a bit better for those mediums. if you're simply just picking up a medium and just, creating whatever, and then picking up another medium and creating whatever, and you're not really focusing your energy on learning particular techniques, then you might find yourself not progressing very much in either of those mediums. So it could be quite a hindrance in that case. So I think that it would most likely be ideal to kind of focus on particular techniques that you want to learn in both the mediums you choose to kind of work with. So if that is your question, then I think that it might actually be better to just focus on one at a time. That way you don't lose what you're picking up, I guess. But it's certainly not a rule. You can use as many mediums as you want, because there's a few that cross over. For instance, learning colored pencil and pastel, you can do mixed media with pastels and colored pencil. So learning those two mediums at the same time kind of complement one another. Another two mediums that cross over would be acrylic paint and oil painting, because there's a lot you can do with acrylic paint that you can simply paint over top of with oil painting. So you have these two mediums that kind of, they're individual when people treat them as individual mediums, but you can also add them together. So you might want to think about that. It might be a little odd to be learning watercolors and pastels, because there's really no crossover that strongly connects those two mediums together. But that doesn't mean that you can't, learn those mediums at the same time. I mean, look at me. I jump into whatever medium catches my interest at the time. So, I like to spread myself out a bit, but it doesn't always pay off. Sometimes it does, but sometimes if you're new to working with art in general, then I think that it's best to kind of focus yourself a bit, because I think you're going to benefit more from that focus as opposed to trying to learn all the mediums all at once. So there's a benefit to focusing, but it's always fun to jump into something you don't know, and I know it can be exciting. Not to mention, it can be a bit expensive if you jump into every single medium at the same time, if you know what I mean. My sister tends to do that quite a bit. One day she'll be making jewelry, the next day she'll be painting, and so she ends up never really getting that good at any of them, because she just enjoys creating. I'm a lot like her. She's my older sister. She just enjoys creating, but I've been able to spend a lot more time doing it than she has over the years. So the fact that I spread myself out so thin, learning every medium at the same time, I kind of had the benefit of time on my side, whereas she did not. But it probably took me longer to learn some things because I was doing so many things at the same time. Oh, well, thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad that at least in that regard I inspired you. But I do recommend a little bit of focus. There was a time when I never touched colored pencils, and during that time I was mostly focused in oil paints, and then I did a bit of graphite drawing for a little while, and then I got it back into inking, and I wanted to color my inked drawings, and I really, really, really wanted to get markers, but I could never even come close to affording Copics because I didn't want to waste my money on anything other than Copics. And I was kind of naive to the other potential markers that were perfectly acceptable. But I just instead of buying anything, I bought nothing. But I was kind of all over the place in the beginning of my channel. And then I came across colored pencils, and I kind of hyper-focused on colored pencils. And once I did that, it allowed me to get really good with colored pencils in a year. I put the oil painting kind of aside. I did maybe 1 or 2 acrylic paintings during the time, but when I put all the other mediums aside and I focused on colored pencils, I went from like mediocre colored pencil work to pretty good realism in actually less than a year, more like 9 months or so. And actually, you can go back. You can go back to my very first time I ever used colored pencils, which is on my channel, and it's 3 years ago, I think, maybe. I don't even know. But you can see the first time I used colored pencils, and then you can go ahead like 8 or 9 months and see how much I progressed with just colored pencils, because I kind of focused everything on colored pencils. But yeah, I didn't mean to stretch that answer out to your question so much, but it was a good question. And there's no right or wrong answer, I guess, in my opinion. You can always do whatever's fun. If you want markers, then Touch 5 is good and affordable. Oh, thank you, Sebastian. Yeah, I've heard of the Touch 5, but I never committed to buying any of them. I have a full set of markers now that I got off eBay, and they are the Letraset Tria markers, but they no longer make them, which is heartbreaking, because they are just some of the most fantastic markers that have ever been made, and in some regards I think they outperform Copics, but they still make a version of the Tria markers, but they don't make the original version of the markers. You've been lazy lately because the festivities in India? Oh. Well, it's always good to take a healthy break. Sometimes, I'm gonna be a little bit lazy once I finish Inktober. I don't think I've ever created so much artwork in a single month. So it's going to be a very productive month, I'm gonna have so much work done, it's just gonna be crazy. Alright, I think that scene is good. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm gonna jump down here to the final scene. You can see lightly the outline of Nugget here. So let's go ahead and ink our little slug buddy Nugget in here. Hopefully you can see the joy on his face because he knows he's about to be brought to life in the story. I have the hardest time trying to create expressions. Like Slug Nugget, his expressions are deceptively difficult to make because his eyes are essentially detached from where his mouth is. It makes it so much harder to get the right expression. But I think I managed to get a really good one, a really good expression for today. Yeah, I think I tend to get a little long-winded with my answers quite a bit, but partially because yes, I want to be thorough, but also, you know, since I don't prepare for these kind of questions beforehand, I tend to ramble, I guess you could say. Ramble a little, maybe excessively, but I think that I do it because it allows me to keep talking, and it's kind of hard to center my thoughts exactly while I'm drawing. I tend to be a little scattered just because, you know, I'm trying to draw, and I know I keep repeating myself, or I feel like I repeat myself way too much. I don't know, it's hard for me to even say for sure, but yeah, it's kind of hard for me to focus when I'm drawing sometimes, especially inking, because it's so unforgivable to lay down ink on the paper that it kind of scares me to death to make a mistake. Alright, I am going to erase my graphite from our little nugget. Oh, you know what? I think I forgot a couple wrinkles on the pants here. Yeah. And I can erase that over here as well. So the only thing left to do is to fill in the words so you guys can get the story, though I think quite a few of you probably identified the story so far. There's the quick look at it. Alright, the ink on Nugget should be dry, so I think it's safe to erase. And I'm going to give him a nice outline. I'm going to turn it upside down so I have some place to rest my hand. So what I least like about sketchbooks is when you reach the edge of the paper, sometimes it's hard to have a solid foundation for your hand. Makes it exceptionally more difficult when inking. because well inked lines require a very sound foundation for your hand to get smooth, consistent lines. There we go, a nicely inked nugget. There's our favorite little nugget. I don't notice what you say. Not that I'm not listening, it means you are soothing and normal and interesting, so I don't notice anything stupid or weird. That's good. Yes. Did Nugget go to a super gym? He lost all his fat overnight. Oh, he was just bloated. He was just bloated from all the cupcakes. Slugs are very stretchy, so he yeah, when he gets bloated, he really gets big. He's like a blowfish. All right, now I'm gonna start filling in the words to give you guys the full story. What is, okay, I kind of messed up this kind of section right here as far as my word separation, or my letter separation. Can you guys read that okay? Did I spell it correctly? I'm terrible at spelling. Now the next portion. These letters, there's a lot of letters here, so I gotta be careful. Who keeps... Sorry, I'm gonna need a bit of concentration on this, because if I talk, I'm gonna write the wrong letter. And I have it spelled out right in front of me. So pardon my silence, even though I keep talking. I hate S's. S's are the worst. Almost done. with this section. There. What is this? I forgot the question mark, explanation mark, question mark. There we go. All right, that should be dry enough. What is this filth here? Yes. What is this filth? Oh, take care, Scott, if you're leaving. Have a nice day. Have to go now, catch up some sleep. Okay, Chrissy, you take care as well. All right, last bit of words. So almost finished here, everyone. Almost finished. Last word. Hopefully I can spell it correctly. There we go. All right, so that is it. That is the final speech bubble. There. All right, so the final page is the janitor is walking around. He keeps seeing all this slime all over the floor, and it's everywhere, and it's just slug Nugget. It's just slug Nugget, you know, going to and fro, you know, because he leaves his slime all over the place. So that was my best idea I could come up with for filthy. But yeah, I'm not going to do any shading or anything with markers or anything like that. I'm just going to keep it nice, clean, and simple for the sake of how many more days I still have left to do. But anyway, that is going to be it for today's live stream. That's my filthy prompt. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the story, the drawing, the conversation. It's always fun to hang out with you guys. I really enjoy it. Again, the Facebook group will be opened soon. And if you're interested in being a moderator, please send me a message. Send me a quick message over on Facebook, and we'll discuss it. But also make sure that you send me your Inktober pieces as well. The link is always in the description, and I will be happy to share those tomorrow on tomorrow's live stream. Like I said, tomorrow's live stream is going to be in the evening, my time, so it's going to be 1900 my time, which I think is 1300 Eastern Standard Time. So I'll schedule that out here in a little bit, so you guys will have reference to when that is going to happen. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.